Alright guys, I'm back again with the Mercedes. This is 2009 Mercedes E320 Bluetec. I think in the last part, of the first part, I show you how I removed the oil cooler, and I cleaned already all that too. Everything is ready to go. I got some of the parts. I also want to show that, as a customer stated, that those gaskets should be purple if they were replaced, which they weren't. So these are orange. Let me show you the updated parts, and also I want to show you how I clean all the intakes and everything. Let me get those little gaskets. See, these are the updated ones, so they never got replaced by the dealer. So these are the intake manifolds right now, completely clean. As you can see, the flaps are moving very well and they're completely clean. Let me show that. You can see those are the intake manifolds. They're ready to go. They were super dirty. This is like a heat exchanger for the EGR, and that was the pipe that you couldn't even see before because it was completely full of carbon too. So everything is ready to go. I'm just waiting on parts. This is the actuator for those intake runners. These little clips are very brittle. I ordered it. I'm going to put new. This one broke. That's the one for the others, for like this side. They just use one on this side and the other one is white, and one is white and the other one is black. So, but the dealer has it, so I'm going to replace them. Like I said, I'm just waiting on some of the parts that didn't came. But everything is clean and ready to go. A lot of work on the cleaning. I pretty much all the parts that I need to at least put the intake manifolds on. I'm missing two gaskets for the turbo and the air filters, but that's not holding me to install the majority of the parts. I have those clips that I was telling you that they're very brittle, but they're right there. Those two. You just fold it in and put it in. Those goes in here and onto this linkages. I have to remove this one, which is still attached. That's no problem. And like I said, I'm pretty much ready to install. I already put the gaskets in place on the intake manifolds. They got like a metal clip that goes into this hole and then holds the gasket so it doesn't move for installation. Well done for Mercedes to do that. I'm going to put this connection. This is for the coolant connection. I like to use a little bit of this lubricant. It's very easy on the O-rings and everything, and it disappears pretty much immediately. It's just a slide coat, so you don't twist or cut the O-rings when you're installing. Alright guys, so I'm going to start putting everything together. I'm also going to set out the oil cooler. I want to show that those gaskets there hold themselves in place. Those are the purple gaskets. No silicone in here. There's the gaskets. So you just set that in place. I have the bolt in here. Gotta turn off the computer to see the torque. I'm going to get the computer off. Show you in a second. Okay, I got the information. It says it's 12 Newton meters. Same thing as all the E10s that we got up top right here. So it says 12 Newton meters. So I'm going to be taking the torquemeter. It's very soft, but it's always good to do it the right way. And so for that procedure, I'm gonna take this one out. Nice thing about the snap-on, it does give you angles. So I got to set the batteries on. It gives you the angle, the pounds, and inch pounds and foot pounds and newton meters too. So that's very good. So let me set the torquemeter, and at least I'm gonna show you at least tighten one of them. Alright, first I'm going to show you, I just got all the bolts pretty close to where they will start to tighten. to get tight. And okay, I gotta set out the torque. It's zeroing right now. Okay, it's ready. As you can see, that one is moving. All right, so I like to go like one side and then the other one, and tying the other one around across. All right, it's very minimum torque. So that's all you gotta do. And just let me show you. This is the torque from a snap-on. This is the 3/8, and I'm gonna do all the rest, so at least you guys can see how I do it. Okay, I got the manifolds in. They're not with all the bolts or nothing. I wanted just to show you how I did it, because it's kind of like a tricky way to get everything in and set up, especially with that motor for the intake runners. Okay, I have the new clips in place. So what I did is I set this manifold, the one for the driver's side, first. I just put, you know, 2 bolts just to hold it in place. It's not even tight. I just, you know, so it doesn't shake that much. So I went ahead and before I put the bolts, sorry, because remember we had this connection in between the manifolds for the coolant. So I kind of like fish this one in, put the passage of the coolant together and just butt it together. Then I put the 2 bolts on each side. Again, you can see here the bolt is not even tight. Then I put the motor for the intake actuators here. You have to be careful where to set up, you know, how to set up, because you can mess up and it's not going to work. So let me show you how it goes. So the metal one, you have like a metal one with like a spring on the one side. The other one is very hard to see. Let me see if I move it. You guys can see it. So the arm is right at the bottom. You can get the light in there. Okay, you can see that one is kind of like a plastic. You see the new clip in place too. So that one goes, the one on the passenger side, the arm should be completely to the front, and the one on the driver's side should be completely to the back. Then you can put the clips onto the little ball joint, let's call that way, and you just clip it in place. And then you put this just 2 E10s, torque at 12 Newton meters, and then that's it. Right now what I'm going to do is replace these O-rings. These are the old ones. I'm going to put the new ones in. I had them in there. I'm going to put the hoses. That's the big hose that I was telling you before. This one goes into the EGR. Sorry, I was trying to, I'm talking like you guys are seeing what I'm got in my hands. I know the camera was not even there. So okay, this one goes to the EGR, and this big one is the one that goes just on the back. So I'm just going to, sorry, my hand is in the way, but okay, now the hose is in there. I'm just going to put the clamp back in place, and now I can put the EGR and the rest of the stuff. So, but that's the first step you want to do. You want to make sure that the clips goes in well on that flap for the intake runner. I think I forgot to show you, I also put the heater exchanger on first. That goes onto the passenger side, I mean the driver's side manifold. It's pretty easy. It's just, I put the new gasket on the back. You can see the tube right here on the back. You put these ones, and then it has 2 more that holds it on the side of the manifold. Right now also I'm going to put the bottom of the turbo on. I got the gasket here, because that's the next step. That goes right there, if I am correct. I think I might gonna have to put it back into, I'll put it on the piece so I remember how it goes. Because this has 2 guides. Okay, that goes like that. So it should go like this. Alright, so that's the gasket in place. So like I said, it has 1 guide here, and the other guide is in the piece itself. So that's the guide right there. So you gotta do is come from like the back, and then set them in place. gotta check the torque for this too. Okay, but that is set. I have the bolts in the trays right here. This should be this fork right here. I'm gonna clean the head of the bolts and check for the torque, and that should be my next step. And then put all the bolts on the manifolds, tie them up. Just keep going with the procedure. Again, I'm going to put those O-rings on the front right now. Okay, I put the clamp on the hose on the back. One advice is whatever you install, make sure you put the clamp, otherwise just leave the hose out. It's better that the hose will leak if it's disconnected than you put a clamp. Sometimes they might even hold the pressure on the shop and the customer takes it, overheat the engine, and then it's your problem. So, or in your own car. So whatever you put, make sure it's tight, make sure it has the clamp. If you're gonna put oil on, or the car doesn't have the oil, make sure you take the cap off of the radiator, whatever you're doing. Okay, I tied out the intake manifolds. They're all E10s. They go 12 Newton meters. I tied the ones on the bottom of the turbo base. Those are E12s. They go to 20 Newton meters. I put up a couple connectors. This is like a coolant temperature sensor, if I am correct. I connect the intake runner motor. The wiring is connected. I haven't. I put these on it because it's held by the manifold, but I know I'm pretty much going to have to remove it because the rail, the fuel rail that goes on the side, it doesn't fit with that in there. Unless you want to take all the lines, and I didn't want to do that. But I'd rather tie them up because I want to make sure that the gasket is set completely tight and in place. You can remove two bolts, it's not going to make any difference on the gaskets. So this is as much as I have right now, and I'm just gonna keep going. Okay, I got the fuel rails connected. I got the fuel filter in place, the thermostat. I connect pretty much all the connectors for sensors that are like on there, like the fuel rail pressure sensors on each side. So is a EGR positioner. We got more connectors on the back, and I'm going to put the fuel lines on. The one in between the rails, and then the supply line too as well. Everything are, I mean, so far it's just E10s, the same thing. 12 Newton meters. The fittings for the fuel rails are 18 millimeters. I just stored those by hand tight. What else? No, I think I already replaced the O-rings that I tell you before. I'm putting everything that I have replaced here, and I got the new ones in there. I got some of the old gaskets on that side as well. But everything is going very smooth. So our car is looking better more and more. So I put the intake and the throttle body on place. I connect all the connectors. I put this that's just a bracket for holding more things in here that goes for like the filters. And so when you're putting this, make sure, okay, all are again E10s. We got 4 bolts in here, 2 here right where my fingers are, and 2 here. There are different sizes, so just check it out. Otherwise, if you're not comfortable, just, you know, when you're taking it apart, try to like use a cardboard and like sometimes when I was just beginning, I just use a cardboard, like a square pieces of cardboard, and if it's 4 bolts, I just put, you know, the 4 bolts, and I said, you know, intake to engine, intake to hose, or so, and then you don't forget. But you know, with experience and time, you get to learn, you know, how much you need on thread, how long can be the bolt, and then you can subtract the bolts. When you're putting this on, you have to leave these 2. There is a bracket, this bracket that goes on, stays on the engine. So before you tighten anything up, make sure you put these two bolts and then you tighten everything up. They're all E10s. What else I connect? All the fuel filter is all connect, and return lines and everything is installed. I put this brake holster, brake booster line in it too. Secure the fuel rails. Everything is going very nice and smooth. I also connect the intercooler bottom hose. That's the one that goes to the throttle body. Make sure that everything is nice and connected. Well, so far I got no issues. I think my next step is going to be to install the turbo. Like that I can start covering it from the back, because I don't want to put anything, you know, I think this hose might be in my way. So I think it's time for turbo to come in. Okay, before I set the turbo, I also said this part was it's like a resonator that goes on top of the intake, like in the throttle body right here. It's 310, same thing. Before I set the turbo, I also want to show you, make sure that you got the gasket here. That has a clip, so it's very easy to just keep it there. Make sure it's clean too. This does. And also on the exhaust manifolds, those gaskets in there, they're the new ones. They got a clip so they hold in place. They're not going to fall out or move. I got those in place. You can see the other one in there. And I'm going to set the turbo. Okay, the turbo is installed and torqued down. We have pretty much all of them are E12. They go to 20 Newton meters. We have the clamp in the back, but that's a 13 millimeter. And then we have two T45, the ones that hold the turbo on the top. And then 3 more here. I also put the elbow right here for the EGR. And I need to tie these ones up. I haven't done those. I connect pretty much all the sensors, and right now the next is going to be to put the intake to the front of the intercooler, replace the, change the oil, put in the oil filter, and then coolant. I had to tie the radiator drain plug, and I'm pretty much done. I probably already said before, I put these insulators on both sides. They're for noise and temperature as well. They cover the injectors and some of the rail parts, so I had to put the air filters and air filter holder, let's say, bracket in place too as well. But it's going very smooth, no problems at all. Let's see how it goes. All right, drop the oil and I clean the engine very good underneath. As you can see, hopefully it's very visible the way it was before to how it is right now, because I'm going to put all the fluids, pull the oil, and start the car to see if I have any water leaks or not. I fixed pretty much everything on top. So let me bring the car down and put the fluids. Alright, that's the box for the oil filter, because this is probably the last time that we will see the filter like that. You can put them in running for like 5 minutes and it will be like it was never changed. Yeah, this oil is just so dirty. It's so black always. He provided the oil, that's what he wants to use on his car. It's a full synthetic specifically for diesel, so no problems. I also want to show you I got everything hooked up pretty much on the turbo. The bottom intake hose is already attached. Those are 3 E10s, same torque, everything is the same. I put this cover on here, this one right here. Let me set up the filter where it goes, at least for 1 second. It's just so messy. Just clean that, and it still has some oil. So hard to keep it clean. Alright, so what I was saying is I put this cover. It uses only 2 bolts, 2 E10s too, and then a pin that sits on the groove on the bottom. I'm about to put the oil here. That's the OEM coolant for Mercedes, so that has to be diluted. So I'm pretty close to start the vehicle. I'm just waiting for the 2 air filter, which they should be coming pretty soon. I like to show also that I'm replacing the air filters as well. I mean, the others all look pretty clean, but this is just, I mean, super dirty. So I'm getting the new air filters here. This is the way they should look. Let me take it off so you guys can see. This is actually the side that gets dirty, and this is the one that goes to the engine. So these are super important on your car, diesel or gasoline, it doesn't matter. Air filter is how your engine breathes. If it's too clogged, it's gonna shock. It's, you know, shock from air. It's gonna put more fuel or try to add more fuel to compensate for the lack of air. So very important.